who jumped into the river to be a bridge for the king. Those soldiers, that was real Mesiras Nefesh because they were part of the war, but they didn't even see the end result, and they still gave their life for the king. That's chapter 35. Chapter 36, Alter Rebbe tells you should know not only you're connecting to Hashem, but when you're connecting to Hashem and doing His will, you're accomplishing something, and what is being accomplished is something that you have a part in. You're accomplishing for Hashem, not for yourself. The tzaddik accomplishes for himself. The tzaddik, you could kind of say, he makes a career out of Judaism in a positive way. Yiddishkeit makes him complete, makes him feel the closest possible a person could feel to God in this world. That's the tzaddik. The Beni doesn't feel that, but the Beni at least knows, the Alter Rebbe is going to teach us over here, that there's something that you are accomplishing by doing mitzvahs, by the deed. Whether or not you're on your own life you accomplish something, the fact is that by doing Hashem's will, you took part in Hashem's project, and being part of Hashem's project is something that fills the person with a lot of satisfaction, knowing that the world will not be the same without him. He has a portion, he has a part in bringing the world to where it's supposed to get to. So the Alter Rebbe begins chapter 36 in teaching us a statement of Chazal. We know that Hashem created the world. We know that Hashem gave us mitzvahs to do in this world. The question is why? Why did Hashem make the world, and why did Hashem give mitzvahs? Hashem doesn't need mitzvahs. Hashem, we're learning Parshas Mishpatim last week. We learned about serving Hashem. It says, "V'avaltem es Hashem Elokeichem." Serve Hashem your God, and He will bless your food and your children and your health, etc., etc. So the commentaries of the Torah they ask the question, what does it mean using the term serve Hashem? V'avaltem es Hashem. We know that in any relationship of a master and a servant, the master is superior to the servant. He's his boss. He owns the slave, or he hires the slave servant, but he still is not perfect, and that's why he needs the servant. I own a field, so I'm rich and I have money, but I can't work the field myself, so I hire servants. They fill in a lack, something that I need that I don't have. So the servant, although he's second to me, I'm much greater than him, I'm much richer, I'm much more powerful, but he still fills in something that I miss, that I lack.
He needs it. He needs
the servant. Hashem, there's nothing that he lacks. Hashem doesn't need anything. It's chutzpah to think that when you do mitzvahs, Hashem becomes more perfect. Hashem becomes. But why does Hashem want mitzvahs? So the answer lies in this piece of Medrash. It says, the Medrash says that the purpose of why Hashem created the world and why Hashem gave mitzvahs is because Nis'ava HaKadosh Baruch Hu Liyas Ladir B'Tachtenim. Hashem desired to have an abode, a dwelling place in the lowest realms, in the lowest world. In simple terms, this answers, by the way, many very, very big questions that the Jewish philosophers deal with, like the one that we mentioned. It says in some sources it seems like Hashem does need our mitzvahs. Others it seems Hashem doesn't need. The fact is that Hashem did give us mitzvahs.
It says like if the Jews accept, then good, and if they say they don't accept, then the whole world becomes nothing. It goes back to Torah, with Mount Sinai. So that particular Torah it seems to indicate that Hashem needs, so to speak.
But Hashem needs mitzvahs for the world, but Hashem doesn't need the world.
Okay.
But
for His purpose, He has some purpose.
Very good, yeah. And there is a purpose.
Yeah.
So if we accept that Hashem created the world for a purpose, and doing the mitzvahs, like David mentioned, brings the world towards that goal, so much so that if the Jews would not accept the Torah, Hashem said, I'll return the world, I'll cancel the whole thing. I have no need for the world unless Jews do mitzvahs. But Doesn't that contradict that Hashem is perfect and needs nothing? So the answer lies over here, and this answer, this two-line piece of Medrash answers a lot of very. This is actually, in a sense, we could call this the foundation of Chassidus. This concept of by us doing mitzvahs, we create a dir b'tachtonim. So what does it say? It says that Hashem desired nisave. Generally, the concept of a taiva, of a desire, is something which is looked down at. A person needs to eat, a person needs to sleep, a person needs many different things. And it's fine that a person pursues these needs. When sometimes we just want something. That's when we use the term taiva. Yeah, we have, it's called rotzon, a will, and a taiva. Rotzon is a will which makes sense. There's a need. A person needs food because without food he will not live. A person needs health because without his health he cannot live a good life. That's legitimate to want. What's illegitimate is to have a taiva. Also gaiva is also illegitimate. Because just like gaiva means you feel that you're better off than someone else, then you must be a great guy.
Arrogance. Huh?
Arrogance, right? Yeah. What's wrong with arrogance? It's untrue. Because it's a gift that Hashem gave you. We're not saying that the fact what's making you feel arrogant is not true. You may be richer, you may be smarter, you may be stronger. But the problem with arrogance is that you're taking the credit. And that's the problem with the gaiva. The problem with taiva is that you want something when there's no need for it. It's an illegitimate want. A person wants to eat, understood. A person wants to have a spouse, a wife, or a husband, understood. It's needed. It's something necessary. A person wants to eat more food than he needs, and he wants to sleep more hours than he needs, and he wants to make more money than he needs. If there's no reason for it, then it's unnecessary. It's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because it's not needed.
And you're supposed to scafia.
And that's all the scafia. What's a scafia? Scafia is to subdue taivas. Taivas is things that are not needed that we nonetheless want. So it says that, but just says that Hagaiva v'Agdul l'Chaylam Hashem is the only one that's allowed to have gaiva. Gaiva is it's called. We should use the term arrogance, but to feel greater because Hashem is indeed greater. Only God is allowed to feel proud of Himself, because whatever God has is His own. Unlike us, whatever we have is really God's. And also taiva. Hashem is allowed to have a taiva. And Hashem had a taiva. Hashem had a desire which is unlike all desires. Yeah, we said mitzvahs are God's will. Why are mitzvahs God's will? Because by mitzvahs Hashem is fulfilling a certain need of His. What's the need of His? That the world that He created should reach its purpose. But the fact that Hashem created the world and He wants the world to reach a purpose is the type that Hashem would not, it doesn't change Him. Just like when I eat chocolate ice cream, it doesn't make me any healthier. Maybe the opposite. Yeah, but any other, let's think of any taiva. I want my food done this way. Not because it's healthier, because it's tastier. It doesn't make you better, it doesn't make you stronger. It makes you feel better and that goes away. And sometimes you actually suffer from it. When people go after their desires, they end up suffering. It's like food, No, I don't think I should be the one preaching about it, but it's sweet, it feels good, it's fun, but it doesn't do any good to you.
I know somebody said you play, you pay.
Yeah, you play, exactly. So but Hashem is entitled to have a taiva, to have a desire. And what is a taiva? Again, let's remind ourselves. A taiva means a desire which has no reason to it. No
rational.
There's nothing rational about it. It's an irrational desire. Wanting to eat is rational. Wanting to eat food that tastes specifically, now, it doesn't mean you have to eat food that doesn't taste good. If the food is good, helps you eat it, it's fine. But if you eat just because it tastes good, that's a problem already. So, because it's irrational, there's no difference, it doesn't affect you in any way. And the same thing is with the world Hashem created. Hashem had a taiva. to have an abode in the lower realms. We'll explain what that means in a moment. And this is Hashem's taiva. Now, within the framework of this taiva to have an abode in the lower realms, Hashem has mitzvahs. Mitzvahs are His will. It's the will. It's His. Now, within this framework, Hashem wanted to reside in this world. For that, He needs mitzvahs. And when we do mitzvahs, we're fulfilling a need of His, that His taiva should be fulfilled. But it all starts as a taiva, and that answers the question: does God need? No, God doesn't need it, but He wants it. A person could want something and not need it. We do it the whole time. We want a lot of things that we don't need. But us, it's a problem because we work for someone. We were created and we have a purpose, and if we go after our wants and not our needs, then we end up wasting time that doesn't belong to us. But Hashem is entitled to have a taiva, and He has a taiva. Doesn't mean that if the world this won't happen, will Hashem be any less God? No, it doesn't. It's not a need of Hashem. Hashem doesn't have needs, but Hashem has this desire. Yeah.
So basically, you got underneath it all is God's taiva. That's right. Underneath everything. And then on top of the taiva, so you have these mitzvahs, His will, to ultimately bring into being His taiva. So, like I was just learning Gemara Soto, it says over there, how are you supposed to behave? Behave just like God visits the sick. You visit sick, just like God is kind or merciful, and you're merciful, right? That's how the man's supposed to operate his midot according to Hashem. So, according to the way that is speaking, it seems that it would be similar. Like if we're created in His image, then maybe I'm putting it out there now. We operate the same way. There's a basic taiva. I mean, I don't know. Let me just put it out and see what you say. There's a basic taiva you have, and everything is really on top of that basic taiva. That would be how Hashem operates. So maybe since we're created in Hashem's image, there's some. It
has to be the same taiva as Hashem.
You can
to have
It's like you have to emulate.
Take it.
It's like you